Well, there you are. It's Wednesday, December the 20th. Here's what we're working on this morning. Developers, they have received a permit to rebuild the Welland condo project that's collapsed twice earlier this year.
The investigation continues into what caused a car to crash and burn at the Rainbow Bridge.
And Celine Dion is facing further challenges from a rare neurological disorder. Well, good morning. Annette looking very festive.
Thank you. It was our green and red day today.
Yes.
You had your green and red sweater on before you changed.
Before, and then I changed into the turtleneck.
I thought we were going to continue the theme on, but I see I'm the only one, and it's awkward.
No, it looks great. It does.
Okay.
Come on, it does. It looks festive.
But you can't mess up Brian's order.
No, I know.
No. You can't muss with my system. Come on. There's not a lot of green or red in my system. I must say.
There's not.
Even though you get close to that festive time when green or red is right, I just don't have an awful lot. So I'm gray and black today. Oh, well, you do what you can.
You're the neutral background to the rest of us.
I can be that, yes. I can be that. I'll be your neutral today. We're looking for a little bit of sunshine today, so that should start to brighten things up quite nicely. A little bit cloudy at the moment, but we are going to see some sunshine later on. It'll start off to be fairly cloudy, and then we're going to see a mix of sun and clouds as the day goes on. But the good news, it's going to be milder today. We only got to 0 yesterday. We had a chilly day with that wind. But today we should hit +3 and light winds. So much better day today. And then we'll get some flurries for tonight into tomorrow. And we'll talk about that coming up. All right, I want to look at traffic, see how things are going so far this morning. And I don't have any collisions on the books, not a lot of volume. 403 Waterdown Road. That's our camera. That looks pretty good. How about our other cameras? We'll just start with the shot here at the top of the Burlington Skyway Bridge. Both directions, Toronto-bound lanes on this shot coming towards us. We'll go back to the Red Hill Creek, nothing to see there. And then we'll advance through to Appleby Line. Doing okay so far this morning. Please take it carefully. We'll look at weather and traffic coming up in a few minutes. Right now, the news.
All right, thanks, Brian. We start in Hamilton because a Hamilton man with face tattoos has been at large has been arrested. In a statement released by the OPP, Michael Stamatakos has been located and arrested by Hamilton police. The 31-year-old man was wanted for allegedly breaching the conditions of his statutory release. He is currently serving a 2-year sentence for arson, uttering death threats, and fleeing from police.
The Hamilton Fire Department has charged 2 people, tenants, after a deadly fire on the mountain late last year. The overnight fire at a townhouse on Derby Street near Upper Gage and Rymel, December 29th, killed 2 adults and 2 children. An investigation led by the Ontario Fire Marshal determined that there were no working smoke alarms in the home. The 2 surviving tenants have now been charged with disabling a smoke alarm and then failing to notify their landlord that the alarm was disconnected or wasn't working. The cause of the fire has not been released.
Hamilton's chief of police is defending his request for a nearly $20 million increase in next year's budget. In an interview with us here at CHCH News, Chief Frank Bergen said the increase is needed to maintain adequate service and meet increasing workload demands in a growing city, and as part of HPS's 10-year human capital plan to maintain the current officer per person ratio. Police Services Board last week approved a preliminary operating and capital budget of $213 million for 2024, which would be the largest in the city's history.
My employee costs sit at, they're at 90.3% of my budget. So my employment costs are affected by collective agreements. Collective agreements that look at benefits, look at merit pay, at frontline supplements for priority response.
Now, Bergen was asked for what could possibly be cut from the budget if it does not get approved from City Council. He responded that he has not considered that.
An 18-year-old man's been arrested after a shooting in St. Catharines. Niagara police say just before 2 yesterday morning, a 19-year-old was confronted in an alley by a gunman who opened fire. He's in hospital with serious injuries. Police tracked down the shooter to a home nearby where he eventually surrendered. Neighbors say they were shaken from the incident.
My friend's kids were woken up in the middle of the night, so obviously there was yelling and something to wake them up, and then they heard the multiple gunshots. So everyone's a little bit scared and a little bit shaken.
Sitting at my computer beside the window, and I heard a bunch of shots go off. Sounded like a small caliber pistol. And then I saw somebody running by the window. And I immediately went and told the wife what was up and called the police.
Now, police say 18-year-old Tashawn Haynes of St. Catharines is facing several charges, including aggravated assault and discharging a firearm with intent.
To Welland now, and Evertrust Developments have received a permit to rebuild a collapsed Welland condo project from the city. Now, the building of the luxury condos in Welland was well underway when parts of the 226-unit collapsed February 18th, and then again on the 25th, shutting down all access to the site. The permit from the city now puts a three-phase action plan into high gear, which will include deconstruction, replacement, and final construction of Upper Vista Wellands. The developers hope to have the condos built by spring of 2025.
An update on the investigation into what caused a car to crash and explode at the Rainbow Bridge border crossing in Niagara on November 22nd. U.S. police are looking into a subpoena to make the manufacturer of that vehicle release all records to the 2022 Bentley model called the Flying Spur. A couple from Grand Island, New York were killed in the collision at the bridge connecting Niagara Falls, New York to Niagara Falls, Ontario. Investigators have recovered the vehicle's data recorder but say it was badly damaged. Bentley is refusing to release the vehicle's specific records without a subpoena.
Haldimand County OPP are searching for 3 teens who allegedly broke into an elementary school in Hagersville and stole chocolates and cookies. The alleged incident happened at a school on Parkview Road sometime between Sunday and Monday morning. OPP say the suspected teens were seen with their faces covered with bandanas and security footage of the theft. The teens allegedly entered the school through an unlocked door and fled after seeing a security guard and triggering an alarm.
Federal Environment Minister Stephen Guilbeault has announced a plan to completely phase out the sale of gas-powered vehicles in Canada. He's requiring automakers to transition 20% of vehicles to zero emissions by 2026, rising slightly to 23% in 2027. And by 2028, 34% of all new vehicles sold in Canada have to be electric. Eventually, 100% of them will have to be electric in 2035. One auto expert says the price of electric vehicles, generally higher than gas-powered models, may fall as the years go by.
I predict this by the early 2030s, where not only do we reach price parity between electric vehicles and internal combustion engine vehicles, but we might actually see the price and the cost of electric vehicles dip a bit, partly because the internal combustion engine vehicles that are being produced for the market in North America are very large vehicles, or our sports cars, our luxury vehicles.
Government says in the first 3 months of this year, about 1 in 10 new vehicles registered were electric. That said, fewer than 10% of vehicles on the road are zero emission. Hamilton Health Science Urgent Care Centre in the west end of the city is going to be closed on both Christmas and New Year's. Hamilton Health Sciences says the closure at the Main Street West location is the result of a shortage of medical staff. The center is expected to remain open all other days throughout the holidays. If you find yourself requiring urgent care on Christmas Day or New Year's Day, the St. Joseph's Urgent Care Center in the east end of the city will be open.
All right, Sportsline. Busy night in the ice in the NHL, which included the Maple Leafs hoping to keep their point streak alive. That has reached 9 games. New York Rangers in town. Austin Matthews, he had 7 goals in the past 4 games.
Back around to McCabe. Time down there, no one's covering him. Big McCabe centers, Matthews shoots, scores! And just like that, the game is tied at 2.
Well, you can make that 9 goals in 5 games. 11 goals in 7 games. He added 2 more to his tally. Leads the league with 25 and 28 games. 2 years ago when he scored 60, it took him until game 33 to score 25. He also tied the game at the beginning of the third, but the Leafs' point streak is over. So the battle of the original 6 went the way of the New York Rangers, who got some revenge after the Buds beat them at the Garden last week. 5-2 the final. Leafs are off to Buffalo tomorrow, where things are not good.
Coming in cold here, and here's Marchenko. 2 consecutive goals, and he's got the hat trick.
Yeah, the Sabres had high expectations coming into the season, trying to halt a playoff drought that's pushed to a dozen years. Fans booed and called for head coach Don Granato to be fired after Columbus put up a touchdown and a field goal. They scored 9 goals, including a natural hat trick from Kirill Marchenko. Blue Jackets crushed the Sabres 9-4.
In front, Chance Kesselring shoots, another save, and it goes in! It goes in! Kesselring's going to get credited for the goal!
Yeah, new coach couldn't help the bleeding in Arizona for the Senators. Things started out great for Ottawa as they went up 3-0 over the Coyotes, but they gave up 4 unanswered. This winning goal went off the skate of Travis Hamonic. Look at this. Ew, that's when you know things aren't going good. Drop a 5th straight game. First one since firing DJ Smith and hiring former coach Jacques Martin. 4-3 the final. Doesn't get any easier. They're in Colorado tomorrow.
It got into his feet. One-timer Nelson fakes. Horvat! Score!
Now, speaking of trouble, woes have returned for the Edmonton Oilers after reeling off 8 straight wins to get out of the basement. They are slumping again. Islanders scored 3 second-period goals to lift them past McDavid and Crew 3-1. McDavid's point streak halted at 12 games.
Morant's going to get ahead of steam with a chance to win it in his return. Here goes Morant. He spins. Morant scores!
Yeah, big return for John Morant to the Memphis Grizzlies as he hit the game-winning bucket in New Orleans to lift the Grizz to a 115-113 win. Morant playing his first game of the season after serving a 25-game suspension for his antics on social media with handguns, would score 34 points and describe it as a perfect ending to a perfect day. Raptors back on court tonight, welcoming the champs are in town. The champs from Denver at Scotiabank tonight.
6:12 is the time. It's the 20th morning of December already. We've hit the middle of the week here, and we're looking at our cameras first of all. This is our camera. We put this up around Waterdown Road in the 403, and there's nothing happening, nothing to really look at right there. It hasn't started to build just as yet. To our MTO traffic cameras, and this time we'll start in St. Catharines and come around the Horseshoe. Here's the QEW at Welland. Very light there. Really no change. It's at Red Hill Creek. East of Brant Street as we come toward Guelph line towards us, that looks okay. Same with the Ford plant. Nothing going on through Mississauga. That's the Huron-Ontario camera. So all doing fine so far today. Temperature this morning, we're better than we were yesterday morning at this time. Yesterday we were -4 with a wind chill of -12. Right now we're -1 with a wind chill of -5. So that's better. We do have a cloudy sky, a light wind from the south-southwest, and that's going to help our temperature for the day today. Air quality this morning and for this afternoon, low risk category, so no problems right there. For school today, we're going to hit 3 degrees today, so it'll be a milder day. Light winds, we're going to see a mainly cloudy sky to start, and then it's going to become a mix of sun and clouds, so some sunshine as the day goes on. There you can see by the red arrows coming up from the south, we have that southerly flow. That's going to help with our temperature for the day today, and we're going to have some sunshine for the day. Weak frontal boundary going by, that could give us some chillier temperatures for tomorrow, and actually the temperatures are going to get colder as the day goes on tomorrow, and we could even get a little bit of flurry activity. So today, generally 3 to 2 degrees around the Horseshoe, a mix of sun and clouds to a mostly cloudy sky for the day today, but at least we'll be above seasonal. Tonight, temperature falls back to -2, -3, -4. Wind chills around -9. We'll start to see increasing clouds, and there will be chance of flurries throughout the year. It's only a 30% chance. Tomorrow, 0. Hamilton will climb to 2, and then the temperature will fall to -3 by later in the day. And the winds will pick up, and it's going to feel like about -10 later in the afternoon, even though we'll have some sun, some flurries in the morning, and a little bit of sunshine. So out the door on this 20th of December, temperature -1. It is fairly cloudy, and we have light winds right now. And we'll look long range coming up. Annette, Tim.
Thanks, Brian.
Thank you.
Oh, look who's here.
Hi.
Hello.
Hi.
What's
Hi.
up?
Well, we're going to be talking about 2 of our leading ladies when it comes to pop music. We're going to give you a health update on Celine Dion and what was going on with Madonna and why she postponed her celebration tour. We've got a bit of an update on that as well.
Right. I kind of forgot.
okay.
She's on. The tour is happening, right?
Yeah, she's on
It's
tour,
going on?
but
Okay.
it was postponed, and we'll talk a little bit about why.
See you at the couch in a little bit.
I'll be there.
All right. After the break, in business news, Canada's fight against inflation didn't gain any ground last month. Business news in 2. Coming up on 6:17 on your Wednesday morning, here's some numbers for you. Canadian dollar up 6 basis points this morning, sitting at 75 cents US. Gold up 80 cents, 20.52.90 an ounce. Crude oil up 65 cents, 74.59 a barrel. Off to Europe. Hey, Europe. Markets are up across the board in London, Frankfurt, and Paris.
In Asia, markets were up today in Tokyo and Hong Kong, down a little bit in Shanghai. Checking North American markets, the TSX gained 216 points. The Dow was also up by triple digits, and the Nasdaq almost up by 100 points.
Hey, how are you? Well, StatsCan says the national inflation rate remained at 3.1% for the month of November. Analysts had been hoping for a decrease in that inflation, but pressure to hold down price growth, that's stalled. A little bit of good news, though. Grocery prices were actually down just over 1% from October. November is the 5th straight month that prices have dropped.
Canada saw its population grow by more than 430,000 people in the third quarter. That's the fastest pace since 1957. As of October 1st, 40,500,000 people called Canada home. Population growth over the first 9 months of this year has already surpassed the growth in any other full year, including a record that was set in 2022.
Well, struggling Japanese electronics and machinery giant Toshiba, it was delisted from Japan's stock exchange this morning, ending its 74-year history as a public traded company. Toshiba will now aim for reconstruction under a new management team, including officials from a consortium led by an investment firm in Japan that bought Toshiba. The new management team will seek to relist Toshiba's stock in about 5 years.
Southwest Airlines and its pilots union have reached a preliminary agreement on a new contract. It comes after 3 years of negotiating. The union's 25-member executive will evaluate the deal today to determine whether to officially okay it. The next step would be for the union's nearly 11,000 pilots to vote. The spokesperson says the contract is worth $12 billion. The deal comes days after the U.S. Department of Transportation announced it would fine Southwest $140 million. That was for last year's 10-day-long holiday meltdown that stranded more than 2 million travelers.
Do you get your groceries delivered? Well, some in Texas can get their groceries literally dropped on their front step. Walmart has expanded its free drone delivery service. Customers use the Wing Delivery app to select their items. They get loaded onto a cable and are delivered in 30 minutes or less. The drones can only carry packages under 3 pounds and within a 10-kilometer radius. This is in Texas. This was happening. Walmart says the items are on a tether that gently lowers the groceries down so eggs won't even crack.
Really?
This is the second store in North Texas to partner with Wings for deliveries between two locations. They serve about 60,000 homes.
What about raspberries?
Oh,
or strawberries?
right. Oh, yes.
Peaches? No.
I don't want a bruised apple.
No.
What could possibly go wrong?
What could go wrong? Well, if you have a Christmas tree, do you go live or artificial? A survey from the American Christmas Tree Association shows 77% of Americans opt for a fake tree. The shift has been steady since the mid-1990s and spiked in 2021. The Real Christmas Tree Board says the natural Christmas tree industry has been in a slow decline over the last 40 to 50 years. We're on both camps here, so we have an artificial one, although I always grew up with a real tree.
Mm-hmm. And ours is real, and it is spectacular.
I'm sure it is.
Best one we've ever had. We say that every year, though. Price goes up every year, too.
Yeah.
Goodness, okay.
You're sitting back there, oh, it should be the best we've ever had. In your dad
Do you
voice.
know what we pay for this tree, kids?
Don't touch it.
I'm becoming my parents just right in front of my eyes. You know what I mean? There you
It's
go.
a good thing. It's a good thing.
Yeah, let's play us off to break.
Yeah.
Okay.
And away we go into this Wednesday morning, 20th of December. Roads look a little bit greasy here through the QEW at Mountain, going between Niagara Falls and St. Catharines, but not a lot to see as far as traffic is concerned. Top of the Burlington Skyway Bridge, going down toward North Shore in the distance. They've swiveled this camera around. We're starting to see slowdowns as you head toward North Shore Boulevard down the Skyway. No problems at Appleby, nothing at Air Mills Parkway. We'll dip into the 403 at Dundas. All very light so far today. Temperature this morning, Hamilton is the chilly spot right now in the Horseshoe. We're in the minus column at -1. Wind chill about -5. 0 Grimsby, 1 Mississauga, 2 for Toronto. Seasonals this time of year are 0 for the daytime high, which is where we sat yesterday, 0. But of course, we had that wind yesterday, and -7 for the overnight low. So we are above seasonal to start a morning here. Those are our sun times and our records for today. And yeah, we're going to see some sunshine as the day progresses. So for the first bell this morning going into school, should be about -2. Temperature will fluctuate a little bit, mainly cloudy, and then a bit more sunshine, but we'll hit the plus side for later this afternoon at +3. So a sunny day today and 3. -3 tonight, wind chill about -9. Tomorrow we're going to climb to 2, and then the temperature is going to sink as the day goes on. We'll hit -3 by later in the afternoon, and the wind chill will be -10 during the afternoon. But yeah, that gets us into winter tomorrow with some flurries. Friday, sunny and 1. Look at Saturday, sunny and 4. The temperatures continue to go up. Sunday, for Christmas Eve, we're going to hit 6 degrees, 8 on Monday, and then rain settles in for Tuesday. That's your forecast. Annette, Tim.
I just love this next story.
Oh, I haven't seen it.
NASA knows the value of a good cat video.
I see why you like
Their
it.
Jet Propulsion Lab has sent the first video by laser from deep space.
Okay, so it's one of their employees' cats, Taters. Hey, Taters. Playing with a red laser light. So the 15-second ultra-high definition video was beamed to Earth from NASA's CHCH spacecraft 31 million kilometers away. It took less than 2 minutes for the video to reach Earth. The test is to see how well high bandwidth video and other data can be streamed from deep space, enable future human missions beyond Earth's orbit.
And aliens are going, huh? Okay, this is what they do.
Well, they think cats rule the world, which they kind of do.
Well, they do.
I want to be in the meeting where they thought, like, what video should we send? And they came up with this idea.
I've got taters.
You like red lights. It could be entertaining. Anybody else? Nobody else?
Crickets.
Taters it is. Taters it is. Taters it is. We got a cat
In the official minutes, taters. Confirmed. We are go for launch with taters.
Taters. Oh, man. Off the rails. We're only half hour in. What else we got today?
It's fun.
Okay.